Now, all I know about my diagnosis is that it is a schizophrenic psychosis. Well, it lists a code for me, and what is that code that it lists when you get there to it? 295.9. 295.9.
There's a check there, there's an additional digit.
Okay, but we know that that code ends in a .9, so what do we already know about that, just from a previous example tonight? A little bit of a catch-all code? All right, well, I'm hold your place, but also look up 295.9. .9 says an unspecified schizophrenia. There's some things included under that, but you know what? I'm not comfortable, are you? Particularly when I go back and I look at that psychosis and it had what other kind of instruction was there? See also schizophrenia. So see also is when you're not really comfortable with the code that's listed there and you're just not sure and there's a see also code or listed or place to go listed, follow that. So now I'm going to turn to schizophrenia and see if I can do anything any better. So I go to the alphabetic, back this time to schizophrenia. And this time notice when you get there, there are an awful lot of types of schizophrenia. Is there anything, though, that's any more detailed for what we've got right now with our diagnostic statement? No, there's not. So the 295.9 would have been accurate. Oh, but what if I had said that our diagnostic statement was a borderline schizophrenic psychosis? Would you have gone to psychosis? Schizophrenic borderline, yes, you would have found it there, but notice you also would have found it under schizophrenia. So it's a C also is when the first code you find doesn't really do it, check the other one out because it might do it better, but it might not do it better. But it's a little double effort there that you have to make. All right, the C category is like the C order was before. It's a direct order. It tells you you've got to go there. So I'd like for you to look under code 326 in the tabular. All right, when you see this, first of all, I want you to, when you look at 326, is there ever a time that a code can stand by itself as a 3-digit code number? I don't know. Look at 326. Yeah, it can because there's nothing else. And notice that this category is to be used to indicate conditions, blah, 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 blah. All right, but what I haven't shown you is how to get to that code. Now, I want you to hold your place and go to late effect in the alphabetic. We're talking about late effect, intracranial abscess. So go to the word late. Under late effects of abscess, intracranial. It doesn't give you a code, but what does it tell you to do? See, category 326. So that's where you go, and there's nothing else you can do with 326. Use an additional code if necessary, but that's an order to go to a category and pick the category code. All right, now C, condition. That one gets confusing to people sometimes. All right, if you will look up, our diagnosis is arterial thrombosis. All right, but what are you supposed to look up? Arterial or thrombosis? thrombosis. But we're confused tonight, okay? We're confused tonight, so we're gonna look up arterial. We just weren't thinking clearly. Had something else on our mind. We're hungry, whatever it was. So I go to arterial, thinking I'm gonna find my code there, and what does it tell me to do? See condition. Now, notice that the word condition does not have a capital letter. So now, do I turn to the word condition, or do I turn to the condition that is affecting the artery? Which is thrombosis. But don't turn yet. Because look, if I had looked up 2 down below that, arteriofibrosis, well, that says, see, arteriosclerosis. That's capitalized. What does that mean I look up? Arteriosclerosis. So one time it may tell me exactly what to look up. Another time it will tell me to look up the condition. And notice that when it says condition in lowercase, I look up the condition affecting the patient. I don't look up the word condition. Make sense? Punctuation marks, parentheses. You're going to find parentheses all over this book for all kinds of different reasons. They enclose supplementary words and explanatory information. Now, this is the trickiest one to me. I'd like for you to go to, in the alphabetic, I'd like for you to go to goiter, G-O-I-T-E-R. This is very tricky. It's easy, but you forget it. And it'll trip you up in a heartbeat. When you get to goiter, the very first thing you see are a lot of words in parentheses. That is called a non-essential modifier. Now right there beside that paragraph, put example goiter, in case you get confused and need to go back. Well, gosh, there's adolescent goiters, colloid goiters, diffuse dipping due to iodine deficiency, and the list goes on. A non-essential modifier. It's non-essential. What does that mean? Not necessary. But if you have it, it's nice. And if you don't have it, it's okay. Now, what I like to tell you is pretend that every word there, that those words are a neon sign. And neon signs are real famous for flashing on and off, aren't they? So they can be there or not be there, and it will not make any difference in the code assignment. All right, what am I trying to tell you? Give me the code for adolescent goiter. 240.9. Give me the code. Okay, look in the parentheses, and it's the very first one listed, adolescent goiter. All of those are 240.9. That's the point. All right, what's the code for a colloid goiter? 240.9. What's the code for a diffuse goiter? 240.9. What's the code for a juvenile goiter? 240.9. What's the code for a goiter? Just goiter. Why are you having a problem? 240.9. Because these are non-essential modifiers. Put your finger over every one of those terms in parentheses, except for the code number and goiter. Goiter is 240.9. Any one of those terms describing goiter, it's still 240.9 because those are non-essential modifiers, meaning they can be there or not be there, and it's not going to change the code assignment.